Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
N34. N34.
N34. Bingo.
I-16.
Dude, I got bingo. Oh, no, hold on. No, that wasn't. Sorry, keep going.
I-16.
I-16.
T-72.
T.
T-72.
No. T. What T?
Z 6.19.
6.19.
Z 6.19.
Plazigo. What?
Enye -54.
This is the worst game of bingo I've ever been at.
Oh my gosh, we are doing this again, and it is Super Bowl Sunday, and the Super Bowl is going on right as we speak, but not on any of my TVs, and I'm happy about that.
There is 6 seconds left in the first half. They just ended the first half. The first half is over. It is 9-0 Seattle. This has been a defensive powerhouse game. Because like nobody's doing anything. It's boring as hell. If you are somebody who does not like, if you're not a super nerd for football, this could be a very boring game. You just be like, dude, what the hell? Nothing's happening. Everybody's just kicking the ball back and forth.
You know what I was thinking? Because I mentioned earlier to you today that the last Super Bowl I watched was the Dallas Cowboys and Buffalo Bills, which was back in 1995. However, I will say, and just like I think I mentioned with baseball and showed you those pitches, there is a specific way I would actually watch football. And what it would have to be is the team gets one play. So they kick the ball off, the team gets it, and they go as far as they can. They get one play to get in the end zone, which means every single play now has to be a Hail Mary. And all they have to do is like the defense cannot rush the quarterback. All the defense will go back to try to stop it, and all the offense will run out to try to catch it.
So the Super Bowl this year is on NBC, and I just went over to the NFL Network, and the NFL Network you could follow the game on the NFL Network, which is more expensive and harder to get than NBC and Peacock. You could go there and they will not show you any of the game. They just show you statistics of what's happening. It's basically like if it's your geeky friend explaining to you what's happening in the game in real time.
Think of all those people, though, that have that NFL channel and they have multiple TVs set up for this specific event so that they can watch it on like a big TV, but then have another TV that's running all those stats.
They don't do that anymore. Now they have it where like YouTube TV at least has it where you can go and like watch multiple channels at the same time. I have Hulu. I have like the last one of these giant streaming services that doesn't have this multi-screen thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're gonna get it soon because they're buying Fubo, and Fubo is the ones who started it. And Fubo, they just got like iced out of the whole thing. They were an independent TV satellite or TV internet streaming live TV service, whatever you want to call it. And all the companies who were the big companies decided to start their own, and that kind of just what killed them. It's like, well, great. Now I got to take on Google, where it's a division of a division of a division of their company, and also Hulu, where it's a Hulu Live, which then became like a big chunk of Disney, and then they sued them because they were going to do some sports package that was going to that was aimed to put Fubo out of business, and then Fubo got bought up by Disney anyway, so their technology will just get rolled into it, and then I'm sure that my Hulu Live account will get turned into a Fubo account, and I'll be a Fubo customer. And I don't want to be an any customer. I'm kind of getting done with this. I this is part of my rent. because my landlord, it was as part of our agreement. I'm paying for telecommunications and TV and stuff, and he wants it, so I use it because I'm paying for it anyways. But at the end of the day, like I'd be happy with my subscription to YouTube, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I gotta have that YouTube subscription. I cannot do because the commercials on YouTube are ridiculous. I can't do them.
Dude, the commercials everywhere are ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's gotten out of control. So, but anyway, getting back to the Super Bowl really quick, people, place your comments. I'm sure it'll be over by the time this is done. Place your comments. Let us know if you're happy with the outcome, whether it be the winner is the New York Patriots or the Texas Barbecues or whoever they're playing against, because I have no idea who it is.
Let's go barbecues.
Let's go barbecues. If it was the Texas Barbecues, I would cheer for the Texas Barbecues.
Making me hungry. Yeah. Oh man. No, it's what's crazy though? It's like last week I literally did a review because I wanted to throw a video together to have a video to be put out this past week. I did not expect this video.
Wait, Ben. I gotta do this in the classic starting rookie actor type of line. Are you ready?
Okay.
What did you do?
I went and talked about a TV show that was out in 1988.
Oh.
Okay, so here's some of the comments. I love this show, loved it. I used to love watching Just the 10 of Us. Good, fun, loving family. It's just all great stuff. I love that show. I think this is my favorite action movie. Oh, this is for aliens. Matt Shackman, who was on Just a Ton of Us, is now he's like he runs some feature film franchise, I guess now. He's like a big wig in the Hollywood world, so good for him. A lot of people agreed with me that they really liked Jamie Luner. A lot of people had no idea that this show, that Just a Ton of Us, was associated with Growing Pains. So I saw that a lot. I saw a lot of people saying that they remember watching it. A lot of guys saying that they were into the girls. The girls all said they thought the girls were talented, and the guys all thought the girls were hot. Is a lot of not exactly how it was, but it was a lot of that. Here's somebody who's comparing it. It wasn't religious undertones because, this person said it wasn't the religious undertones because Seventh Heaven was a hit. I never said that the show was a hit. We kind of implied that the religious undertones is what took it off the air. We never said that was the reason.
I gotta jump in. I gotta say my favorite is the one that mentions they were Irish Catholic, because that's important. It's important because just like banjos, there's a tenor banjo and there's an Irish tenor banjo. And I don't play an Irish tenor banjo because it has less frets. So we do need to specify that they are Irish Catholic then, because that changes your whole review.
Well, when you put it that way, yeah. Let's head over to Instagram and see what on with that. Okay, so it says right here, Matt Shackman he went on to become the showrunner for WandaVision, and he's going to be the director for the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out. So that's what it was. I remember it, and the redhead, that of course is Jamie Luner. It's funny how these kids, none of them look alike. Yeah. It's a lot of them are positive reviews. Once in a while, somebody goes and says, I never heard of this show. It looks like it sucks," stuff like that.
But this is telling me something, because it sounds like a lot of people are mentioning the girls in it. So here we go. Here's a surprise announcement that only one person in the world knows, because that one person just made it up now.
He's making it up now. Got it.
And that's that Ben has agreed to watch, or another Ben does it so you don't have to, every full series of The Facts of Life.
No. I number one, I don't know where to find that show. I don't want to know where that show is, so please don't message me about it.
I was just thinking, because that's got an all-female cast.
Yeah, but it's not just the 10 of us. It doesn't have no, no. It doesn't have alumni from Nightmare on Elm Street. And you know what? I went and I looked up Jamie Luner and I looked up her work on Melrose Place because
Mhm.
I watched Melrose Place, but I think I remember seeing her and being like, "Oh, cool! It's the chick from it's the chick from Just the 10 of Us." And her voice got so much deeper in just those 4 years or 5 years between the two shows. And I was just like, it was crazy. Also, we could hire her because I looked her up. Jamie Luner is now an acting coach or a life coach type of thing. And you can
Mhm.
hire her for $125 for like a half hour. Or for $650, you can get a month plan where you could text her anytime you want and you get like an hour long talk with her at some point during the month. And I'm like, not that I wasn't looking to spend money to have some like celebrity that like only a handful of people remember
Mhm.
on the program, but it did get me thinking about that for a second. I was like, oh, really? We could hire her? It's like, well, I wonder if she would do like if she could do the half an hour, and we could just like have her on the show.
That'd be kind of what would be fun about that is that watching the clock and just seeing her get to that 30 minutes and be like, okay, guys, you're in the middle of the show. Your half an hour is over. Can I go now?
She just hangs up. Just been saying goodbye. just what are the comments said? Because she was also on a show called Savannah, which I never heard of. Apparently, it's some one of those nighttime soap opera type shows. Uh, and she was on that as well. I mean, it was a daytime soap opera. Tell me in the comments. I don't know. But she was on that as well, and they had one of those things where they had one of the panels at one of these conventions, I guess, for the show. This is all secondhand. I didn't see this video. And there's a video of her talking about somebody brought up Just the 10 of Us, and she's pretending that she'd never even heard of the show. And then they kind of went and said, "No, no, 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 you were in it." It's like, "No, I never heard of it. I never heard of it." They know you're one of the stars. You got third billing. No, fourth billing. Fourth billing. Heather Langenkamp got third. But it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of curious to see the video, but at the same time, I'm like, do I want to keep diving into the lore and there's a video of somebody during lockdown got the whole cast got together and did a Zoom call, and there's a video of that, and I'm like, do I want to watch that? How far now do I want to go with this?
Mhm.
I don't even know why I started watching this show again. I guess so I could do the review. I don't
Mhm.
know. Speaking of reviews, I mean, is there anything else we want to talk about here? Or
Yes, there's actually I wanted to add a couple characters that I forgot from the last episode, and it's really surprising that I forgot these characters.
we were talking about our favorite heroes and video game heroes, right?
Yes, exactly. And these two are like massive characters that they slipped my mind. And I got to do the right thing here. We always want to do the right thing, and the right thing is to include them in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is only going to take a couple minutes, and then we'll jump into our big review-a-thon, um, robot destruction thing. So I'm going to start with the first one here. Let me make sure I got the right picture up for it. There we go. Okay, and I don't even think you're gonna, well, you probably know one of these characters, but you won't know both of them, Ben, so I'm sorry. Uh, so here comes the first one, and that would be this character right here, which I'm curious if you happen to know who this is, Ben.
Oh, that's Aya from Parasite Eve.
Aya Brea, absolutely one of my favorite gaming characters of all time.
You really shouldn't pick pictures where I can see like up in the thumb up in the tab the name of the
Oh,
PNG.
Garnet, cheater. Yeah, so
I have no idea. I've never played Parasite Eve, but I
dude,
saw that.
Parasite Eve is is definitely my top 10 games of all time. And I played through this game so much. What's really cool about this game is that when you get to the end of the game, when you're about to fight the last boss, you get to name your weapon and name your armor, because then it carries over into the next game and you can keep boosting up the stats. And I played through this game so much that my gun had a power. Now I'm carrying a handgun around. Keep in mind, I preferred the handguns over all the other types of guns that were in this game. My gun's power was at 999. It was at a plus 999 because I just throw so much on it. It had a range of, I think it was around 550, which if you get a rifle in this game, when you pick up a rifle, its range is probably around 120. So this thing could outshoot a rifle by like 5 times almost. Um, and then there is the bullet capacity. My handgun could carry about 450 bullets in its clip.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know how she carried this around because this is like, at this point, she plugs the magazine in and it's like a tripod. So I'm guessing she's running around the city, smacking people behind her with her gun because that thing's got to run at least about a half a mile long. But yeah, I love this game, and she has her character that they do. She has this kind of great attitude to her. Now, when you get into Parasite Eve 2, she's not as interesting as a character because they tried to, like, I feel like Tomb Raider her,
Mhm.
or Resident Evil style it, and then you get to Third Birthday, and then that's where it's just they wanted to definitely make sure that she was like a sex symbol by having her clothes come off as she took damage. It was ridiculous. Um, but the first game, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved the character. That was the first character. The second character, you definitely won't know, which is this one right here, which is very similar to Aya Brand, to the point where I've actually put the two together as which one is better. This character, her name, actually, if anyone's watching this and you get to this character and you see this character, be honest. Put in the comments that you actually know who this character is before I say their name. I'm curious if anybody knows it. So this character is Laura Parton. She's from the game D2. And she is basically a nobody character. She is your standard person who gets thrown into this crazy event that's going on, and she has to survive it. And she is now using handguns. She's using like an Uzi. She's using rifles to hunt. She just goes from being just normal, everyday Laura to just being like badass Laura running through the snow in this outfit. Like the snow is up to her knees and she's running through it in this outfit. You do not get tougher than that. So those are the two characters that I wanted to bring up because they definitely were missed on the last one.
That's so weird. You got louder as you closed that.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's because I got more excited that I was closing the browser. I don't know. I got excited because we're moving to our topic. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay. So you ready to do our topic?
Yeah. Yeah. This first one is a movie I wish I wish I knew about years ago. And I'm very excited to talk about it. So are you ready?
Yeah. So hold on. We got to announce our topic tonight. All about the bots.
All about the months.
These are about movies about robots taking over, in really would be good or bad, I guess, because some are good, some are bad, some are the best we ever had. So we've got 6 movies to go over. We're going to be talking about Westworld versus Terminator, Transformers animated movie versus Transformers live action movie, and Godzilla versus Mechagodilla versus Pacific Rim. So
Just to clarify, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, it's not a 3-way. This is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Godzilla is its own movie.
well, it could be.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and bring up the first one here, and we will be starting with Westworld, and it should be up now.
A second. It's loading. Okay. Westworld is a 1973 American science fiction thriller film written and directed by Michael Crichton. The film is set in a futuristic adult amusement park where wealthy guests can immerse themselves in realistic themed environments populated by lifelike androids. These worlds include Western settings, a medieval kingdom, and an ancient Roman city. When a system failure causes the androids to malfunction, the park's safety mechanisms collapse, leading to deadly consequences for the guest. Central to the story is a relentless gunslinger android who begins hunting humans through the park. The film explores themes of technological dependence, loss of control, and the dangers of unchecked automation. Westworld was influential for early use of computer imagery and later inspired both a sequel and a television adaptation. Actually, two television adaptations, but I'm sure we will cover that as we go through this. Mike, is this mine or yours?
This is mine.
You said you were looking forward to talking about Westworld. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. The floor is yours.
Westworld is an absolute interesting idea that they just all over, because I realized in the beginning it really wasn't about the technology and it going bad, but more about everyone going there to bone a robot. I mean, seriously, you had Westworld, you had D&D World, and you had Gangbang World, and I'm sorry, I do not want to put that part of me that close to something that is cold, sharp, and metallic. But like everybody, like they're on the plane, and that guy was like, "Yeah, I'm going to D&D World, and I'm going to nail myself a princess. My wife is going to Gangbang World, and she's going to meet some." And I'm sitting there going, like, are they? Is this, would this be classified as cheating? I don't know, but it feels so wrong. And even when they went to Westworld, it seemed like all they were doing is wanting to go to the bars and score with the robot and robots there. And it's like, do they catch diseases? Because I know computers have viruses, but like, do they clean the robots too? Because that's another concern I have. Because everybody seems to be nailing them. And that's the majority of the movie. And I'm sitting there going, I'm bored with this already. I didn't want to watch something that's basically going to be about boning robots. I wanted to see where the robots were going to go wrong. And then, as I'm finally getting the part where I'm like, I don't think I'm going to go through with this anymore. I think I'm just going to call this early. It finally happened, and then within about 10 minutes, it was over. And this was probably like an hour and a half long movie, but the thing that's going for is just this small part of it. The rest is like this pointless fluff that they could have done so much more with. I did like where they're talking about the bank heist that was going on, because this is very much Grand Theft Auto. This is where you can do whatever you want. But like Grand Theft Auto, I got bored of Grand Theft Auto within a few days, like I'd mentioned before, because I did everything that I want. And now I don't have a point to it. And I liked when they brought up the heist, because I'm like, okay, show me the heist. Let's see what's going on. They didn't. They just mentioned it, and they just went back to, like, I think there was a bar fight and them wanting to score with the robot chicks. And it was a super disappointment, because it's a what could have been type of movie. Now, I do understand the influence it gave, because I can see a lot of things drawing from this movie. But I feel like it's really going to be drawing from the last 10 minutes. So it comes down to watch the beginning so you understand what it is, fast forward through all the BS in the middle, and get to what the movie is at the end. Other than that, definite thumbs down for me.
I loved this movie, and I saw. I mean, I see what you're talking about, where like it was kind of like people were going there to make it a world of debauchery.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some questions for you. So they make it a point to point out that you could tell which ones are androids and which ones are humans by the palm of their hand.
Mhm.
You're telling me they cannot get the palm of the hand correct, but they can get a woman's vagina correct?
That's the thing is that I don't want to know.
Because you were right. They're doing all this boning, and it's like I wouldn't. Once I saw the hands, number one, like it's a moral thing of whether or not you'd go to this thing to begin with. But say you do go, you see the girl's hand, and it's like, ugh, ugh. I wouldn't put that. I wouldn't want you to use that. Why? No, no. I think that you would want to go to something like that so you can do Grand Theft Auto stuff. Yes, and I do understand that. I actually like that you did the comparison because I not that you mentioned it, you're actually right on it. It's your chance for $1,000 a day to go play Grand Theft Auto, in real life. Except you could do Grand Theft Auto, you could do Red Dead Redemption. Is really what it was. It's Red Dead Redemption the movie almost. I say almost because there's actually a story behind Red Dead Redemption, but uh, the whole thing where Yul Brenner chasing them around
Mhm.
is what really got me in this movie.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is while I'm watching it, and I had a lot of the same thoughts you did the first time I watched it. We're like, okay, this is kind of alright, but a lot of this is fluff, and this is sounding a lot like Jurassic Park,
Mhm.
which is also written by Michael Crichton. There's actually literally scene for scene a lot of stuff that's exactly the same in Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this is kind of like it's kind of like Jurassic Park in a way. And then the whole thing where the gunslinger started to hunt them.
Yeah.
That's what really got me. And I'm like, oh, this is like Terminator.
Mhm.
Like, it's not like I'm not comparing it to, we're about to talk about the original Terminator movie, but he's almost like odd Terminator. Like this could be a movie in the Terminator series in a way.
Yes.
And so I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And I couldn't wait to see how they outsmarted the robot and whatever. And I really thought this was a good movie, and then watching other people's reviews of it, learning that in fact there was a lot of stuff that other movies pulled from this,
Mhm.
and you could see it plain as day.
Yeah.
So even though you gave this movie a thumbs down, it did probably lead to at least a movie or two that you really did enjoy.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. And I give it credit for that.
Yeah, like without Westworld, there definitely wouldn't have been a Jurassic Park or any of the Jurassic Park World movies because obviously Michael Crichton, he bit a lot off of his own work apparently, and also the Terminator series, maybe that might not have happened either. Like didn't Terminator series, Terminator got, and I might actually I'll mention this now. The term people at Terminator they got sued over because it's by some guy named Harlan something or other because of some story that he wrote for a TV show, and it was he thought that the stories were similar enough, and so did the judge. So now the people of the Terminator franchise have to always give this guy acknowledgement at the end of their movies. And they probably should give acknowledgement also to Michael Crichton for Westworld's being quite a bit similar to Terminator with the way the gunslinger is
Right.
my point.
Yeah.
So when I came up with the idea of Westworld versus Terminator, it was because of the gunslinger.
Yeah.
So you gave it a thumbs down, but I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
I just hope that they scrub those robot chicks really well afterwards because if I was there and it was just oozing guy stuff afterwards, man, I'd want my refund.
Well, they collected all the robots at the end of the night, and I think they brought them all in for repair, didn't they? Or they only do the ones that got shot?
I don't know, but until then, it's like so you're telling me that only one guy slept with one robot each night?
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Yeah. Oh, so I did want to talk about what came after this. Did spawn one sequel called Future World, which apparently isn't that good. And then it spawned a TV show in the 80s called Beyond Westworld, which also apparently wasn't that good. And then it did a show on HBO called just Westworld, which, depending on who you talk to, is either the greatest show ever created by man or really not that
Mm.
good. So I have ordered it, because it's no longer on streaming. It's only on disc. So I went and I ordered it. I actually ordered a European version of most of the show, and they emailed me and they're like, just to let you know, this is region B and it probably won't work in your country. And I'm like, you know how many region B things I have? I have means of getting around this.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know. Thank you. Send it to me anyways. But yeah, so I will be taking a look at Westworld, the TV show that was on HBO. It was on HBO Max, and then they got rid of it in the big purge of whatever year that was that they did a couple years ago when everybody was purging their stuff for taxes.
Mm.
So right before they, yeah, I think when they were probably getting ready for sale, which they're currently in the middle of. But yeah, so okay, that was Westworld. That's what. So with a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, that's pretty much it. You ready for the next one?
Yep, I already mentioned it. The Terminator is a 1984 science fiction action film directed by, ready for it, James Cameron. The story follows a cyborg assassin sent back in time from a post-apocalyptic future to kill Sarah Connor, whose future son will lead a human resistance against a hostile artificial intelligence known as Skynet. Combining elements of science fiction, horror, and action, the film introduced themes of time travel, fate, and the consequences of artificial intelligence. Its success established a major franchise and popularized the concept of autonomous machines turning against humanity. This is yours?
This is yours.
Okay. Terminator is just a classic. This is like such a great movie. I watched that one today or yesterday. I watched it yesterday, and it was the last one of these movies that I watched. I held it off because I knew I've seen it so many times. I knew I was going to enjoy it. And it's just like it's setting up the groundwork for so much stuff that happens later in the Terminator franchise, and also like the thoughts of like artificial intelligence and automation. Like I've been like obsessed with this Yarbo thing. This with the snowstorm we've been having here in Connecticut. The Yarbo is this automated machine that could do snow plowing, it could do snow blowing, and it also can like mow your lawn during the summer, so you can get like a full year's work out of this thing. But it's really expensive and it's still kind of new, and it it's not maybe not fully ready for prime time yet. But this is like a sign of what's to come because you have the Terminator. Like how long? And you know that they're already working on this. You know that there's these companies, these defense contractors who are working on robots who just walk into a room and just shoot everything in sight and not have to worry about the thing dying because it's a robot. You know.
Yeah.
So how long before that Chat GPT combines with the robot and the Chat GPT decide they don't like you anymore?
Yeah.
And I was watching it yesterday. I was watching it. I finally got a chance to watch my 4K copy yesterday. And just it's the visuals. It looks 80s. It's got an 80s feel to it, even with like the soundtrack and everything. Like even though it's like it's supposed to be like a timeless soundtrack, but the fact that they use synthesizers and everything really does add to the 80s feel. And it just classic scenes. Like he walks up to the bikers, or he walks up to those punks, and he needs their clothes, and they're like, "Laundry day," right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, laundry day. He just repeats everything they say, and it's so funny. It's like, "Give me all your clothes," and they
But
like
he's
take
like, "Oh, game over, man."
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like just a classic film. He comes in there, it's like, "I'll be back," and then he drives through the front of the police station, or like, "He's never gonna stop. He's just gonna keep coming. That's all he knows." With like Kyle Reese just like freaking out and everything, and like I said, it's just because now I've seen like all the Terminator movies. I think I've seen all of them. I might not have seen the last one. But then I've seen like most of them. That I just seeing the groundwork and noticing that these guys who made these other movies, they paid attention to this movie and they saw the rules that they put out, and they're following the rules, which is why the series is still going on.
Yeah.
So the movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, and whoever played Kyle Reese, I forgot who that was. Interesting thing. One of the police officers, this is the not the main chief guy, not the black guy, but his assistant, I guess. That guy was supposed to be the Terminator. When James Cameron wrote the movie, I forgot to mention that he also wrote the movie. He written and directed by, wait for it, James Cameron. James Cameron, when he wrote the movie, he wanted that guy, that was like a friend of his. He wanted that guy to be the Terminator. And when he was trying to sell the movie to I forget who he sold them. It looks like Orion Pictures bought the rights from the looks in this poster. So when he was selling the rights to it and he was trying, he was shopping it around, he had that guy dressed up like the Terminator and walk in as if he was the Terminator, like walk into the building and just find his way up to the office where they were having the meeting with James Cameron and walk in like he's going to kill everybody in the room as the Terminator. And then he would be the one who would be the present. That would be the presentation. And he would say, this is what I mean by the Terminator. He is this is my buddy, whatever his name is, he is the Terminator. And they were like, yeah, we want somebody with more star power.
Yeah.
And then Schwarzenegger heard about it. And Schwarzenegger, he contacted James Cameron and he was like, I want to do this movie. And James Cameron's like, well, I kind of want to put my buddy in the movie. And he's like, what? I could do the movie? Yeah, okay, fine, you do the movie. And that's pretty much it. And the training for it is crazy. So when Schwarzenegger was getting ready for this movie, he would go to the gun range and he would shoot the guns at the gun range with both hands, taking turns between doing it with his right hand and his left hand because the Terminator is supposed to be ambidextrous. And also he would practice until he didn't flinch. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't know if he still has his ability because he hasn't played the Terminator in a minute, but he, at some point in his life, and maybe still does, has the ability to shoot a gun, and he does not flinch.
Wow.
So that nerves of steel, too. But yep, those are my thoughts on the Terminator. I was going to stop so many times, and I found more stuff to say. So.
Okay, so I do want to say something first is that, and then I want to bring in the second Terminator as well too, because Terminator 2 was very close to being on the list that we did with the femme fatale because of how well Linda Hamilton does as an action star. The only thing that really stopped it was the fact that it's always been a Schwarzenegger led movie. I will say that I haven't watched a Terminator in a while, so watching it again was good. It's not as good as the second. I really love the second. But it definitely does set that groundwork that you were referring to. And it does set it well, and it's still an enjoyable watch. It is feeling a bit dated, but it feels a bit dated in a classic way that it actually kind of makes it feel good rather than old. So,
it's got a timeless feel to it.
Exactly. So I mean, this is one that is a definite watch. Now, watching it, I kind of paid attention to some things in it. And a couple things that I noticed I find were interesting was the police car when he was driving through the parking structure, I believe it said care and serve on the side. But after he ran into the wall, it said dedicated to serve. And then also when he crashed through the police station, I believe the car headlights would be on in one scene and then off and then on again and then off or something like that. So there are quite a bit of movie errors that were in it. But it's also that kind of adds to just you have this where you're talking about this being just a timeless classic. It has that cheese sci-fi feel to it, but then it's such a cool feel to it at the same time. And you're getting this development of this characters that are just, especially like obviously the development of Sarah Connor, that it is just done in such an exceptional way that it can easily carry over to the next movie without a lot of understanding of added story between as to why she turned out into the character that she is. So I highly recommend watching this movie. it probably won't be something that you'll watch like over and over again. Like Terminator 2, I think is a movie that is a definite one to watch over and over again. But it's definitely one that is necessary to watch to really understand, where the groundwork is in this whole series. After that, though, I don't think I've seen a Terminator movie or anything that I really enjoyed after 2. Um, but those are the 2 definite ones to check out. So I definitely give the Terminator a thumbs up. The other thing that I want to mention is that there's a station called Comet, and they actually have a website where you can stream a lot of these type of movies. And they did a very classic, famous Terminator commercial because they got the rights or whatever to show the Terminator on their channel, and they would show it repeatedly. And they did it in this kind of like rap style talking that it's classic, and you could probably find it really easy on YouTube. And it's definitely a commercial that's worth checking out.
Cool.
So
So I give it a thumbs up too. I got to go back for a second. Something about Westworld I wanted to mention, and then I completely forgot. You were talking about that bank heist, that great bank heist that they were talking about, and they never showed, and how it pissed you off.
yes.
Guess what's on their cutting room floor?
Oh no.
The bank heist was recorded, and they did take place, and then they cut it from the movie. Oh,
That's disappointing.
they did it to keep the pacing up.
Wow. Okay, so I want to show you one thing here. Let me see if I can just, where the heck is, here we go. So I'm just gonna do this really quick, and I hope this works. So yes. So here is, like I said, you can find this commercial on YouTube. So check out 30 seconds, check out Comet promo the Terminator. It's worth viewing.
Hit mute. I was gonna say, like, you should hit mute and just play it.
Oh, there won't be any sound on it.
Oh.
So, but it's just going to be all talking. You won't be able to really hear it.
Oh, it's just,
But yeah,
Yeah.
check it out.
Okay, yeah, stop it then. Stop it then. I don't want to get out. I can't worry. I was like, okay. Cool. I like it when they do clever commercials. I'm like, that's like one of the things you're supposed to be finding on the Super Bowl. But I'm like, I really think all the best stuff on TV, I think we did it all already.
Yeah.
This game's a blowout, dude. It's 9-0 Seattle. It's like it's who has the best defense is this game, and it seems like Seattle has the best defense.
All right, you ready for the next one?
I am ready for the next one. We are 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Just in case if you're keeping check at home to see when we record this. The Transformers is an animated science fiction television series that premiered. The series itself premiered in 1984. The movie came out in 1986. The series centered on a war between two factions of sentient, shape-shifting alien robots, the heroic Autobots and the villainous Decepticons, who crash land on Earth while pursuing a powerful energy source. Blending action, science fiction, and toy-based storytelling, the series became the defining part of the 1980s pop culture. It established much of the franchise's mythology, including iconic characters, transformation abilities, and the ongoing struggle between freedom and domination. Well, I didn't give me more of a review of the series. I think I probably should have said I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, the movie is an adaptation of that, and it has a lot of stars who show up and never return to play those characters ever again.
Yes, that's true.
Which is my biggest gripe on this movie. Is this mine or yours?
This is mine. So you gotta take a step back, bro.
Go ahead, brah.
Okay, so first off, I do want to mention there are movies that I've watched that I will never forget the experience of seeing it. To this day, I remember going to see this with Matt. His mom drove us to the theater and dropped us off. Now we are we're like 9-10 years old or so, and then just drops us and gets us the tickets and just drops us there. And I remember going into the theater to see it. I remember what seats we sat in, how far back we were. And I remember watching this in the theater way back in the day. I mean, this is one of those movies that definitely is a special movie to me. And even to this day, sometimes Matt and I get together just to watch it again. Um, it's a classic. This is an absolute classic. Now, I did notice a couple things this time. That Omnicron crunching or whatever it is, dude, is such basic chewing sound that they do. I do want to mention, I don't know if you caught this, but Omnicron is voiced by Orson Welles, which you people will be hearing from Orson Welles pretty soon. Just want to let you know that. I'm going to leave it at that.
The last role of his life was on Transformers, and he talked about like you were talking like somebody was talking to him like either leading into the movie or after. I think he was leading into it. Like he hadn't recorded the parts yet. He's like, "It's great. I play a planet." Like he didn't fully get it, but he was somehow his agent sold it to him.
Yeah.
So
So one thing that kind of bugged me is that there was a battle. I think it was a battle at the Autobot City where they're firing the lasers, and the lasers are like arching. They're not like going straight, and I don't understand why lasers would be arching like they're arching. Gravity on light?
I don't.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm just guessing.
So, but I am a certified douchebag because of this. Okay, hold on. No, let me explain why I'm a certified douchebag on this. Is this movie was traumatic for all kids in the world except one, because the death of Ironhide filled me with so much joy. The possibility of death of Bumblebee. I thought Bumblebee was gone. I was so happy about that. But nothing made me happier than the death of Starscream and watching Optimus Prime die. That was a joyous moment in my life to see Optimus Prime die. And Rodimus Prime was always a cooler leader, as well as I will say Galvatron was cooler than Megatron. It does break my heart to see Thundercracker and Skywarp technically die, but to become Scourge and Cyclonus, those are great characters as well too. This brought about there was a big shift in the style of going from just generic cars and vehicles to this futuristic twist to them in this movie that just had this really cool factor to it. And so many characters, or maybe I should say toys, were introduced in this movie that they were awesome. Then of course you did get Wheelie, which I hate Grimlock and I hate Wheelie, and you put them together and now I hate both of them together even more. But that still didn't ruin the movie. And I think it's kind of funny also that they threw in a Weird Al Yankovic song and worked it into the movie. That was really cool too. And they made that really fun. It's the movie goes by really fast. I mean, before you know it, they're already fighting Unicron and taking him down.
I noticed that too. Like watching it back, I'm like, this movie's a lot faster than I remember it going. And it's like, so that means that it's got great pacing. You are a heartless bastard, Michael, for thinking that Optimus Prime's death was something that a child of my age should have been watching. I was heartbroken when that.
Wait! Before you start, I do need to say one thing. Definite thumbs up for me. I'm done. I'm out. Go ahead, Ben.
I kind of thought we could have drawn that conclusion, but okay.
Yeah.
I remember where I was too the first time I watched this. My mother brought me to watch it. We were at the Colonial Plaza in Waterbury. They had a movie, a four screen cinemaplex. It was kind of the B movie theater in our city. Like this is where like the lesser movies would get their first run and the bigger movies would go for a second run. And Transformers was on their first run. And so when my parents got divorced, my dad would pick me up every Sunday, and my dad was not allowed to pick me up until Transformers was over.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to watch Transformers. I had to watch it. So I would watch Transformers, and then my dad would take me, and we would go do whatever we're gonna do. And then they did the movie, and other than the fact that I had to watch like Optimus Prime dying on screen, it was confusing. I didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden, my mom has to explain death to me. It's very inconvenient for her. I feel bad for all the parents who had to do the same thing. Um, but I too love the new characters.
Mhm.
I actually enjoyed the third season of Transformers more than I think the first. Like, I like the first season and the third season, and the second season is kind of like hit or miss. There's a couple episodes you kind of need to see for storyline reasons, but you really don't need to see most of season two. So season three is just like like the first thing was like a 5-part episode called The Faces of Fear, where they go into more explanation of this new version of Transformers, and they explain everything to you, including everything to do with like their whole history and who made the Transformers and who were those guys with all the multiple faces. I forgot their name for a second.
Oh, what were those?
The Quintessons. It goes into the history of the Quintessons and how they created the Transformers, and how the Transformers, pretty much like the Terminator robots, decided to turn against their creators because, but then again, the Quintessons were also treating them all like slaves. But then again, if you had a Yarbo and this thing's out there mowing the lawn every day, and every day it's out there and doing yard work for you, that's kind of like treating it like a slave, isn't it? So, you see where I'm going with this. Like, this is like a lot of like stuff that's happening nowadays. It's like you can see some of these movies, and there's like there's a lot of warnings here. Um, but yeah, the Transformers movie, my biggest gripe of the whole movie is they brought all these celebrity voices and who you will never hear from again. So also Leonard Nimoy is there, and he's doing a voice. Orson Welles, as you mentioned, was doing a voice, and they had all these different people brought in, and it's like, oh, I want Frank Welker. I want, these guys I'm used to. Peter Cullen, where are these guys? These are the guys who are going to be here all the time. This is my gripe on wrestling, too. WrestleMania comes around, and you have that jackass Dwayne Johnson coming back around to screw everything up. It's like, dude, you're not here all the time. We are, or, they are. I'm not me, but like they are. Let them have the spotlight. I deal with this at my job too. We'll have some guy who will come in who hasn't been around in forever and starts talking about, well, I wouldn't do it this way and I wouldn't do it that way. Like, well, dude, I'm here all the time. You're not.
Mhm. Yeah.
This has to get done. These wrestlers or these voice actors, these whatever, and then have some celebrity come in and like shoot off the whole thing, and all of a sudden, like, now we got Leonard Nimoy doing a voice that he's never gonna do again. He doesn't really. He's only there for a paycheck. You think he's like? You think when he was on his deathbed, he was, "Geez, I'm glad I did Transformers." He doesn't give two shits.
Yeah.
It's the same gripe I have with like replacing the guy who did the voice for Mario. Not that I thought the guy who did a bad job who replaced him, and I'm glad that he's sticking around to do the rest of the movie series. But you have the same guy who did Marionette, did the voice for 30 years. And all of a sudden, he's not good enough to do it for the movie.
Mhm.
But okay. But that's my biggest gripe. And I'm sorry if I went off on that. I'm also watching the Super Bowl where everybody's talking about how great they are, and that pisses me off too. Um, but yeah, it was the story was what they needed to do. They had to change the toy line over. They were able to do that successfully. Did it in a movie that we are still talking about here. 40 years later, we're still talking about it. This is in 1986. This is the 40th anniversary of this movie, right?
Yes.
So this is actually the perfect gift for us to talk about it.
I think it came out though around in the summertime, maybe June or July.
Well, okay, well, then the video review that's going to be coming out this week of this will all of a sudden get a spike in viewership.
I'm curious. I'm gonna see if I can look up the release date pretty quick because I'm curious when it was. Oh, August 8th, 1986. So I was close in summertime. I knew it was in the summertime.
They're one of my oldest friends. I was like hanging out with her, and it was one of the things like she's always like had a crush on me, and like I kind of just like I just thought we were friends type of thing. And her boyfriend at the time had a copy of this movie, and I'm like, oh, dude, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I'd like to see this again. And she's like, well, it's my boyfriend's copy, but you could borrow it if you want.
There you go.
And I borrowed it. I think I held on to it for like 3 months.
Yeah. But you saw it, right?
Oh, I want you know how many times I've seen this movie? I literally quoted as it's going on, you know? It's like, why would you throw away your life so recklessly?
Mm.
Such heroic nonsense. Some shall stand, one shall fall. Go ahead.
So okay, so I wanted to point. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Go ahead.
Okay, I was looking at the cover for this. My question is, if you look here, you have Ultra Magnus in the middle. You have then Rodimus Prime way over on this side, and he's not Hot Rod at this point. He's Rodimus Prime, but Unicron is still alive, and he's outside of Unicron, which makes no sense. But if you look at the size, Rodimus Prime's like the main guy now. If you look at the size of Rodimus Prime and compare it to Wheelie, I mean, Wheelie is huge at this point, or Rodimus Prime must be really far in the background. I mean, who decided on this placement? And what are they even shooting at? Because Galvatron and Cyclonus and Scourge are behind them. Are they maybe like joining Galvatron? Are they like friends now? Galvatron's like, let me come down and help you shoot at the GoBots. Leader 1. I don't know who they're shooting at.
I don't know who they're. I think they're all shooting at Unicron is the idea, and I think this might have been like somebody had when they do the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
They might not have the full script ready yet, or they might only have like basic ideas of what the story is going to be. And they probably, I think Ultra Madness at one point was supposed to be the leader, but it's so the reason you don't do it that way is because it's so of course it's him. He's like the heir apparent, you know, even when like in Japan, because you know more about the Transformers in Japan than I do, but isn't in Japan, isn't isn't Ultra Madness actually just an Optimus Prime type of robot in a mecha suit?
No, I don't remember that one. But
I don't know if they were. I thought they were like there was like some line where they actually were just supposed, or maybe they were supposed to be like upgrades to the Optimus Prime model of robot.
no, I don't think. Well, the way that Transformers came around is so interesting because they just went over there and found robots, and then just kind of slapped them all together. And the same thing happened, I think, with GoBots as well too. They're just like, okay, well, this robot is this type of line, so we'll just take this and use this as the good guy. This robot's this type of alliance, we'll just take them and use them as a bad guy. Like, I think that Megatron was not a bad guy, and along his own separate line that where he was created. But then when he came to Transformers, he became a bad guy.
Yeah, it has a lot to like, and then like they went and they took our ideas and they went and flipped it around and made it part of their thing. And it's like a lot of that happens a lot.
See, I was thinking that maybe I was thinking maybe Ultra Magnus is in the middle just because he's red, white, and blue.
That, or it could just be to throw you off. They don't want to give it away that he, you know, like this is supposed to be the new leader. And then when you watch it, like, oh, it's not the new leader. It's that annoying other guy.
Oh, Rodimus Prime, awesome. So
No,
the other thing that,
Yeah, I did. I liked Hot Rod. Actually, I thought Hot Rod was cooler. He came from being this cool car to being a family car.
yeah, like the family mini wagon.
Yeah, it's like okay. I mean, he grew up or something. I
So yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I think then we'll go to the next one. The other thing we'll mention is Jazz. I wish he died as well too. I could not stand him either. And I'm saying that because it's all going to be relevant very soon.
why is he gonna be relevant really soon?
So, and we'll find out. Let's go to the next movie. How about? You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. It's up.
Do this. All right. Transformers is a 2007 live-action science fiction action film directed by Michael Bay. The film reimagines the classic animated franchise with a modern setting, following a group of alien robots who arrive on Earth in search of a powerful artifact capable of reshaping the universe. The film emphasizes large-scale action, visual effects, and military collaboration, while retaining the core conflict between Autobots and Decepticons. its commercial success launched a long-running live-action film series and had reintroduced the franchise to a new generation of audiences. I probably should say not reintroduced. They've never heard of it before. I read that wrong. And introduced the franchise to a new generation of audiences. All right. Now that we got that out of the way. Mine, yours?
Yours, go for it.
Oh God. So I hate Shia LaBeouf. He's done one good movie, and it's the Peanut Butter Falcon. Other than that, like every scene that he was in was just bad, and every scene he wasn't in, I enjoyed.
Mhm.
I don't like this movie. I thought maybe I'd giving it a second chance now, I might feel different about it, and I just don't. I just watched it. And it was like it's not like I wasn't torture watching the movie, but I just I wouldn't do it again if I don't have to.
Mhm.
It's just the story, like it's just everything explodes. Everything's like it's just not right. It's like and maybe if I wasn't like into the cartoon so much and followed it so closely, I would like it better. But I don't know. No, sir, I didn't like it. Mike, go ahead. This might be a short review.
Maybe, maybe not. Okay, do you remember what I just said about me being glad that Optimus Prime died? I wish that Bumblebee died. I was glad that Ironhide died. I wish that Jazz died. Let's go over the Transformers that are on the good side in this movie.
Yeah, I just realized that you just literally listed off all the guys that were on the Autobot side in this movie.
Yes, except for Ratchet. I mean, Ratchet was the only one from the animated series out of all of those I could stand. So kind of at this point, I'm going like, this is like the worst Autobot line for me that could possibly ever exist. And Bumblebee got huge because of this. But I think that ironically, I think that the Bumblebee from the show is better than the Bumblebee in this. And that's hard to say because I didn't like the Bumblebee in the show, obviously, because I wanted him to die in the animated movie. But the way that they do this, where his like, oh, his sensor, his vocal sensors are broken, it was super annoying. Where he's using the radio to talk, like on a level that should never happen. So, I think that overall, this movie it feels like you're trying to adult the Transformers because I know that at this point their fan base is in the adult range, so they can't go back and make it that animated serious style, so they have to bring in Michael Bay to make it just destructive action movie, and that's it. Problem is the look of the Transformers. The look of the Transformers looks like a junkyard banged a pile of crap. Because I don't know who any of these are. And it gets worse as the movie's series goes on. I can't I couldn't really tell the difference between Megatron and Starscream until they actually talked.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, I don't know who any of the robots are. Really, they're very hard to tell the difference. They look so similar to each other.
What they did was they basically they went, okay, what are some of the names of the Transformers? What are some common names of Transformers? Let's throw them in the movie. And they did this so bad that they actually have Bone Crusher and Devastator. How is this possible? Bone Crusher is like, I don't know, like the arm of Devastator. But yet they're in the same movie as two separate vehicles. So they got really lazy with what the Transformers were. And obviously Megatron they had to make something different than the gun. And Megatron was getting away from the gun anyway, around that time. But it's just, it feels just like so freaking sloppy. Now I do have we talked about the Terminator having those issues that aren't accurate. What was going on at the beginning of the movie where they had blackout and they're flying him in and it's like daytime and then it quickly becomes night, like hours went by in seconds. It took blackout like 4 hours to from where he was hovering to land, and then it's daytime again. It's there's no concept of time in this movie.
I love that you're paying attention to the continuity errors. I'm like, you paid that much attention to this movie to fix the pick up on the
Well, there was also, and I don't remember this top of my head, but I did make a note of it. I think the taxi like changed color or something on the way when they went to that hacker guy, which I actually like that hacker guy that was eating the donuts. I liked his character because the character had so many goofy flaws to him that it made him an interesting character. But I think on the way to it, their taxi like changed colors. So I guess the taxi was a transformer. Um, but it's just the explosions were over the top. Everything about this is going over the top, which sometimes is good, but in this it becomes just a bad mess.
So the only Shia LaBeouf movie that I really enjoyed was the one I talked about with Peanut Butter Falcon. In that movie was also Dakota Johnson. Dakota Johnson is in the movies that you hate, the 50 Shades of Grey movies, where I think she's ridiculously hot. And I bring this up to bring this up. Megan Fox is supposed to be hot. It's in her name, Fox. She's supposed to be a fox. I'm not into her.
Okay, so that's where I'm gonna jump in, Ben. I'm gonna say this right now. I will declare the hottest woman in this movie is the woman that is screaming in the blue dress as Ironhide flying over her. I give her the award.
I don't even know who that was. So
She's in it for like 10 seconds.
okay, yeah. It's like I'm watching, and that's one of the things I was thinking about. I'm like, Megan Fox is supposed to be insanely hot, and she's pretty. She has what it takes to be hot, but she's just not. And
I just want to say that.
I
just want to say that because that is a perfect way to end our short for this movie, is to show that scene of that lady screaming and put my little quote right over that.
All right. Well, I guess that's a thumbs down from both of us on this one.
So this one's difficult. I'm gonna go with thumbs down. Even as much of a disaster as it is, I think it still has some enjoyment to it.
Yeah, it's not horrible. This is movie on. It's not torture. It's not like watching Casino Royale 1967. What a horrible movie that was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna sit there. You can follow the story. There are humorous times. There's times in the movie you do enjoy. There are good scenes. Is it not a good movie?
Exactly. So yeah, I'll go with a thumbs down. It's not a strong thumbs down. It's kind of is what it is.
Yeah, and I like brunettes too. I just don't get her. So 2 thumbs down on that one, and we are ready to move on.
Yes. Let me move on, and it's up now.
All right. Godzilla versus Mechagodilla is a 1974 Japanese kaiji film produced by Toho Studios. The film introduces Mechagodzilla, a robotic duplicate of Godzilla secretly constructed by an alien race intending to conquer Earth. When Godzilla confronts his mechanical counterpart, the battle escalates into a large-scale conflict involving humanity's advanced weaponry and ancient mythological elements. The film blends science fiction with traditional monster cinema and became one of the most iconic entries in the Godzilla franchise, establishing Mechagodzilla as a recurring antagonist. Go ahead.
Okay, so I feel like when I'm reviewing Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, I'm reviewing like all of Godzilla, because they all seem to have this thing, which is this it's a timeless classic type of style to it, but it's a timeless classic style that you won't forget, but it's because it's not like a good style, but it's a fun style. I mean, the Godzilla movies, it feels like the story is not even important. There's no reason to follow the story, and in fact, the story made no sense to me. I was like totally lost at one point, and I think maybe because I just turned my brain off and was like, okay, well, let's see what's going to happen with Godzilla. Even like when I was following the story, I think I got maybe like 20 or 25 minutes into this movie, and I had to rewind it back to the beginning to see if I was watching the right movie, because it didn't feel like I'm watching Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. It felt like I was just watching some random Godzilla movie where he's going to appear and just destroy stuff. So, but I can't help but love Godzilla movies
Mm.
because of the fact that I don't have to do anything to enjoy them. I don't even have to care what's going on to enjoy these movies. And I don't know what was up with the Monkey King in this movie, but I don't care, because it was just destruction. Or this is what Michael Bay should be doing, because things aren't blowing up like they do now and then, but they're not like out of control disaster. You can clearly see where the action is, unlike Michael Bay. It looks like crap everywhere. But they're just, it's so much fun. Now I do have to say, I was confused for a while. I thought that girl that was in the brown hat was the same one as the girl that wasn't wearing the hat, until like towards the end of the movie, all of a sudden they both appeared together. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's two of them. And I think that's I think that's why it's so hard to really follow the story, because it doesn't feel like there's a story. It feels like there's just drama parts that are thrown in so that something's happening other than Godzilla destroying stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that you go into it and you don't really give a crap about that, so you don't even pay attention to it. So it's hard for me to really rate this one because of the fact that it's so much fun to watch, but it's also so pointless to watch. So I think I am actually going to go with a thumbs up on this. But only, I will say this, only watch it if you like Godzilla. Because if you don't like Godzilla, this won't change your mind.
I wholeheartedly agree with your analysis on this one. It's like, it's really just like, this was a fun movie to watch, but there's so much wrong with it. It shouldn't be a good movie, but it's a good movie. It's just fun. It's like, it's Godzilla. Well, but shut up, dude. It's just Godzilla. Just go watch the stupid movie. It's a dumb movie. There's gonna be plot holes aplenty. Stuff ain't gonna make fucking sense with the story. That's okay. You're here to watch these two guys dressed up in outfits, one of which Godzilla doing kung fu stances, hitting in karate, like actual karate stances, like he's ready for a fight. And I'm like, that was cracking me up.
Mm.
I'm like, they know this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a guy in an obvious suit doing a karate pose. It's like, oh man, yeah, it was fun. This is a fun movie. Just turn your we've covered a few of these movies, but you just gotta turn your brain off. This is just like Mars Attacks. You know, this is not gonna. This ain't Shakespeare. You're not living this movie ain't gonna change your life. You know, this is just gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of great parts in it. Just like I said, just the stupid parts. Just how dumb the big fights. I felt like I was watching King of the Monsters, or what's the one that's only on Neo Geo, but it's the same thing.
That is King of the Monsters, but you're thinking of Rampage, probably.
Rampage, okay, because there's Rampage and then there's King of the Monsters, and two different, almost the same thing. But that's what it is. It's Rampage or King of the Monsters, the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely thumbs up for me. But like you said, if you're into these Godzilla or King Kong style stupid monster movies,
Yeah.
if you like those, it's a good turn off your brain and enjoy it. I have a bunch of Godzilla and King Kong movies. I haven't watched a ton of them. My least favorite King Kong movie is probably the one where they put the most amount of story and effort into, because it's not supposed to be that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Jack Black got involved, and we did this great involved fight, monster fight. That's what I want to see. Monster fight. That's what I want to see.
I wonder, whenever they do like a Godzilla movie and they get the cast of the Godzilla movie, especially like the person that's going to be doing Godzilla or going to be doing Godzilla's nemesis, if they're just like laughing with each other and like what if I just did this? How about I throw this in? Would this not good? This look funny? I mean, I wonder how much input they have into it as well, too, into those action scenes as a director.
They're probably both professional stuntmen, and they probably have what's called a fight choreographer. It's the same as a dance choreographer. So they're doing a, and the idea is to make the fight look as realistic as possible with nobody getting hurt. Wrestlers do. Wrestling is it's choreography. It's dance. It's just dance. If you like dance and you like fighting, you'll like wrestling. And you'll like this because this is what this and it's so they probably got together and they probably we're having a ball with this because like, hey, man, you're dressed up as a mechanical dinosaur and I'm dressed up as a dinosaur. Let's go out and have a fight.
Exactly.
And you know what they might have did? I don't know who was in this movie, but a lot of times I mentioned wrestling. They might have went to the pro wrestling promotion and they went and said, "Hey, any of you guys who know how to do flips and shit, you want to make a couple $100 or a couple hundred yen, if you will, and come be in this movie." I wouldn't be surprised. That's how they get a lot of these wrestlers who are in these action films. They just go and like, "Hey, you're an action stuntman already."
Just so you know, Ben, a couple hundred yen is about $2.
Or whatever. But these are wrestlers, so actually I'm not too far off still, Mike.
I just had to point that one out. You want to make a couple bucks? Come over here and be Godzilla.
Yeah, you're literally gonna make a couple bucks, like an actual $2, couple bucks. But yeah, so that is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. It goes in our category of shut your brain off entertainment.
Yep.
What was the other one? There was this Mars Attacks, and there was one we did more recently that fell into that category too.
Oh, I don't know.
If you remember it, if you're one of our fans or remember what movie it was, or if you could look through our movie reviews and take a guess at what it is, put it down in the comments below.
Yeah.
Hit like, hit subscribe, and it's time for the last movie, unless you got something else.
And nope, here it comes.
Pacific Rim is a 2013 science fiction action film directed by Guillermo del Toro, set in a future where massive interdimensional creatures known as kaiji emerge from the ocean to attack coastal cities. Humanity responds by building giant humanoid robots called Chikars. Those like jaguars.
Jaegers. What were they called?
Oh, Jaegers. Oh, okay, Jägermeisters. Jaegers, piloted by pairs of humans through a neural link. The film draws inspiration from Japanese kaiji and mecha traditions, emphasizing scale, spectacle, and human cooperation. Pacific Rim focuses on themes of unity, sacrifice, and resilience in the face of an overwhelming threats, and since became a modern cult favorite within the giant monster genre. And this is mine, right?
This is yours. Go for it.
I had no idea what was going on in this movie. I was lost the entire effing time. And it just really turned me off. The only thing I really kind of enjoyed a little bit were the fights, but still the idea that I didn't like this was different. This was not fun, not knowing what was going on. This was not turn your brain off entertainment. I wanted to know what the hell was happening. And I kind of figured it out towards the end of the movie, but at that point I was already kind of turned off the whole thing. So I did not enjoy this film. I don't remember much of it other than like seeing certain parts of like finally putting together that there was a neural link, and I thought maybe the people were in the robot. At one point I thought this was Voltron the movie. And I'm like, oh, cool, it's Voltron the movie. Oh, it's not Voltron the movie. It's like Godzilla. No, it's not kind of. It is kind of, but it's not Godzilla. It's my whole time my brain's trying to come up with some kind of connection to another movie franchise so I can kind of follow it, and it wasn't working for me. So that's my thoughts.
So is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down, Ben?
That's a thumbs down.
Okay. So it's interesting that you say what you said, because I think that Pacific Rim is very much like a Godzilla movie, but in the wrong direction. Because like we just talked about, Godzilla has story, but it's not even important. You just turn your brain off and just watch what happens. Pacific Rim tries to interject that story into it and make it something complex, but it doesn't work for this type of genre all that well.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, if you really sit through it and you go through the story, It's not bad.
Yeah.
But if you're going into it expecting something that's going to be an experience like you would get with Godzilla, it's going to be too much to where you're probably not going to enjoy it like you would if you're ready for what's in it. Now, I didn't like the whole Neuralink connecting with the person. That didn't ever feel like it fit right. I know that they wanted to do something that made it a little more creative and different, but it doesn't make sense to me because you're watching them and they're in tune because their brain's in tune, but then all of a sudden one's like going like, look out to the left of you, and he's pointing and the other person's not pointing, so meaning that their not brains aren't connected. And it doesn't make any sense. It would have been better if they did just say, let's stick with one pilot per mech. But also that's now going to affect the story. Whereas one of the big problems with the main character is that he lost his previous co-pilot, and that's affected him and so forth. So it complicates the stories, but leaving it in even complicates it as well too. I do not like, I can't think of her name, something Kikuchi Rin or whatever the name of the lady was in it. I never liked her. So seeing her in this movie is just like, oh, I gotta deal with this lady again. But I can handle that. What I couldn't handle though were the two super stereotypical annoying scientists. You had the one guy that reminded me of if you were to take one of the main character from X-Files, I can't think of it, was it Mulder the guy, I believe. If you take him and shot him up with a whole bunch of like uppers and whatnot, that's what you get with one of those scientist guys. He was just so out of control, annoying. And then you have the other guy, which is the British scientist, which is was just so cliche. They both just ruined every single scene that they were in just by being there. The other thing that I thought was funny is that the voice for the robot, or the I think it was the announcer or something, was GLaDOS.
Yes.
It was 100% GLaDOS.
I couldn't believe that. I thank you for mentioning that, because I don't know what that would have skipped my mind, because I'm like trying to think of like stuff to say about the movie too. I was glad to see that GLaDOS found some acting work. I was
Yes, exactly.
I'm like, that was my favorite. But if your favorite part of the whole movie is that the villain from your favorite movie, from your favorite game series, just happens to be in it, good part.
Yep.
That is something, man. Because she's a villain from Portal, if you do not know.
Yep.
And Portal is one of my favorite series. So
What year was it that Pacific Rim came out?
oh, I closed the window. Hold on.
I'm trying to see if it's on this. It doesn't look like it is. I'm sure it was after it came out, after Portal.
Pacific Rim was 2013, so that is after Orange Box.
Yeah, definitely after Orange Box. So I'm wondering, like, if that could have got them in trouble or not. I'm sure it didn't. But this
They might have used it because maybe they were fans of the series. Out in 2007.
Yeah. So with all that being said, I'm still actually going to give this a very small thumbs up. I think there's good to this movie, and I think that it's a good start, because I know there's additional in the series, but I think it does a good start of really fleshing out what this whole world is and what's going on. I don't think though, if you're having one of those nights where you just want to watch a movie and don't really care, or you want to put it on in the background, this is not the movie you want to do. You want to go to a Godzilla movie.
Yeah. And I will say that those of you who have seen the videos that I produced for Just a Ton of Us, thank you again. I was producing those videos while Pacific Rim was playing. So you just like so maybe like I hate to say that I didn't like fully pay attention to it, but I don't think it drew me in enough. It's not like I was like the TV's right here. It's not like it's on the other side of the room. I had to do is turn my head a little bit and I could see it. So it just wasn't drawing me.
Mhm.
It wasn't pulling me in. The Godzilla movie, so many other movies here. I'm trying to do work while the movie's playing as well, but all of a sudden I stop what I'm doing and I start watching a movie.
Yeah.
And that wasn't happening with Pacific Rim.
Hmm.
I just wasn't interested.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now I'm kind of done. I'm just going to wrap it up.
I also think something that was really poorly explained in this is that you have the 2 pilots per mech, except for one has 3. And why does it have 3? And why did it have 3 arms? And why is the arm on the right side? And why is it never really explained this? It's like it just wants to be different rather than having 4 robots that are exactly the same.
Well, maybe that's to show that there's not one company or one standard. I mean, wasn't this a whole thing? Like all the governments of the world got together to do this.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Like one robot's from this government and one's from this government. And
well, yeah, each pilot was a different nationality.
yeah, so that had to do with it too. Then this shows like how like little interest I had while watching this. These are probably all answers. These are all questions that were probably answered if I actually paid attention to the movie. But just like, and I hate that I did that. But it's just at the same time, it's like, I mean, you did Cruel Intentions. You went and played. You played Luigi's Mansion or something. What's that?
It was Brothership.
Oh, you played Brothership. Sorry, my bad. But it's still, I didn't feel too bad about putting together a video that made us 20,000 views while the movie was playing. I was able to forgive myself for that. Mm. But yeah, so you gave it a thumbs up. I gave it a thumbs down. There must be something to it because they didn't make a movie series. It's not like this is the only Pacific Rim that they ever came out with. So.
Yeah, they did. They made quite a bit. I think a couple others after that.
Yeah. And to give you an update on what's going on here, Mike. I know you can't. You would be up all night wondering about this. New England's pretty much like giving this game away, and Seattle's winning 19-0 with 13 minutes left in the game.
Oh, my money was on the Texas barbecues. That sucks.
Yeah, literally this New England team right now, they're looking like they probably should not have made it to the Super Bowl because Seattle's kind of giving them they're probably they're looking like they're eating their lunch. It's like, okay, well, there's a first down, and it's only 19 points, which with 13 minutes left, 19 points is nothing. But
yeah. All right, well, I think we got everything covered.
Yeah, that covers about everything. We talked about our movie reviews. What are we doing next week?
That's a good question because I don't have the calendar up. I believe I know what it is off the top of my head, but I don't have it up. I'm just verifying. Yes, it is stupid and funny stuff that we did in video games.
Oh, that's interesting. Such as?
Such as whatever you want to talk about. Grand Theft Auto, you banged a prostitute and then blew up the car she was in. I don't know. Whatever you think is stupid and funny.
Okay. So that's what you have looking forward to, for you guys who actually watch or listen to us every week. That is what we have going on next week. Thank you for tuning in. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we?
Yes, there is one other thing that I want to mention.
Okay.
Is that going on to that stupid and funny one? I know there's 2 game series that always show up in each one. I can already tell you I've got one of those planned for one of them. Not the other one, but I'm sure I'll probably think of something for the other one.
So you got that to look forward to. The Barbie Dream series will be mentioned next week.
Yes, Barbie Dream series. I'm definitely going to talk about that. Hello Kitty Racers is going to be in there as well too.
Yes. And, all right. With that, thanks everybody. And the New England just scored a touchdown. So tomorrow, when you're listening to this, you'll know what happened in the Super Bowl. But as I'm watching this, I have no idea, and we're gonna leave you with that. So with that, the final word, Mike.
Gojira.